Welcome everybody to the WTFGO show.
What's
up?
That
is the new name that we're going with now. It's no longer the gamercast. It's the WTFGO show.
Oh.
I like it, yeah.
Nice.
And I am your new Editor-in-Chief, Jason Carmona. With me today, we have co-host
Emperor Ernest Johnson.
Awesome. And with us, we have back for the first time
Thomas Lee.
Joining us today for episode 3.5.
That's right.
We're saying 3.5 because earlier on in the week, we actually recorded a slamming podcast that was probably the best of the three that we had done so far. And in editing it, I ran into a technical difficulty and erased that awesome podcast from my computer. So
they're trying to keep us down, so, you know.
Nothing can keep us down, bro.
So we're back.
Nothing can keep
Upwards
us down.
Onwards. So 3.5, bigger, better, louder.
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
as always with our intros, Ernest, what have you been playing for the last 2 weeks?
All right, so, you know, I finished up Lost Planet 2. Same thing, it didn't really redeem itself. It started off awesome, and then just kind of got more and more kind of mundane and just, you know, inside of buildings and corridors, and it's still really good, but, you know, it just faltered off. So other than that, I started and completed Dead Space really fast. Really fucking good. You know, everybody said it was really good, and I thought, yeah, you know, I'm sure it's good, but again, I mean, it is just kind of running around a big space station. Doesn't seem like there'd be that much variety, but it's just really, really well done in every way. The way the game is paced.
Now, for the time that game came out, it was known as being horrifically scary.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that scary.
It
was scary, but not like
moments.
Yeah, exactly. It had its moments, but it was just one of those games that was just a special game. There's nothing I can specifically say that it's because of this. It's just everything. It's just one of those games where everything came together perfectly. As you're playing it, you're like, yeah, this is awesome. It doesn't get worse, just stays awesome, keeps getting better. Just a phenomenal game. Okay. Excellent game. So I blew through that pretty fast. And then I also started Burnout Revenge, which I'm really loving. I like it more than Burnout Paradise.
Now, did you play the previous version on PS2, or are you just just playing the Xbox version for the first time?
No, I played them all of them on Xbox, on the original Xbox. I played them all, and you know, this is really good. I'd say it's probably the best one. I mean, you know.
You like it better than Paradise?
Yeah, because Paradise, it's like less focused. It's more like, you know, open world. You got to drive around, and you pull up to a race, you got to stop, and I just didn't like all that. You know, plus when you're navigating around, you got to look at the radar, and I don't like looking at a radar while I'm trying to race. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like hard.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, you know, as popular as that franchise had become, that they didn't capitalize after Paradise. They instead kept releasing updates and content packs and stuff like that. They never went and said, hey, we're going to do another sequel. And that game's like 4-something years old now.
Well, they got acquired by whoever fucking does by EA to do Need for Speed games or whatever.
Oh, okay. So now they're
that kind of
sucks
because that's what happened. But all their engines were 60 frames per second, which, you know, in a racing game to me is absolutely critical. And, you know, the Need for Speed games that they've done are really good, but they're 30 frames per second, so they look really nice, but it's just not the same.
Right.
And so it kind of sucks that that's what happened to them. And then I played. I'm still working through Saints Row 2, which again I think we were talking about last time. It's what, you know, I wanted Grand Theft Auto 4 to be. It's excellent. It's old, but it's faster. You know, the characters feel lighter. It's not so much stupid physics and all that shit going on.
And I think in retrospect, thinking about it now, it's better that you play Saints Row 2 before Grand Theft Auto 5 because Grand Theft Auto 5
that's
is
the one
mind blowing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's
like the new pinnacle of that genre, that sandbox.
Yeah.
You know, genre.
Yeah. But you know, Saints Row is it doesn't take itself as seriously, and it that could be good, that could be bad in a game that sucks, but it's actually a really good game. You know, the engine is really good. It's clean. It's got a really nice city. Again, it's like next gen, you know, Grand Theft Auto 3 sort of.
Right on.
And I was supposed to dive back into it, but you know, I just had to pop in Symphony of the Night, and that kind of like took over for the last couple of days.
Right. Oh, because
people
who didn't realize that the last time we tried to do episode 3, shortly after the cast had ended, we played a little bit of Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, just like, oh, it's just.
And got kind of stuck on it.
Yeah, and then I raced back downstairs, and I was like, oh god.
Now, did you play it on Xbox 360 or did you play the original? PlayStation
I played the
version?
original, and yeah, it's
Right
better. It's so precise.
Right
Holy
on.
shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like it's a 10 out of 10 game, one of the best games.
Now
ever
I
want to
go back and play it again.
I'm telling you, dude.
Or for the first time, I should say.
It's the best game ever, practically. Like you should, but you need to play it on CRT. Play it right, and it's just play with a good controller. I played with DualShock, and it's just it's the most wonderful game.
You gotta go back and check that out.
I'm telling you, dude, it'll take over your life, and it's worth it.
So I've been
Console,
playing my
of
Vita
course,
a lot.
Yeah,
The PS
that's
Vita?
right.
Yeah, my
You're the
PlayStation
Vita.
Once Travis had left, he kicked me down with the rest of the games that he had that I was interested in. He had like a whole stack of like 15 games, but I was only interested in 5 because most of them were, cookie cutter, generic Japanese RPGs. Excuse me. And so the ones I took were, Ninja Gaiden, Ridge Racer, Dead or Alive, and then I got a whole bunch of PlayStation Plus games. Unfinished Swan, which I actually used to get my daughter more involved into gaming, and it worked because she was having a really hard time picking up games. One, because she was intimidated by the controller and all the buttons, and then she couldn't grasp the dual analog movement setup for most games, where right or left stick is move or strafe, and the right stick is usually to look around. She couldn't comprehend that. So with a game like Unfinished Swan, has no timer. And you're only throwing balls and moving around. Yeah. So it really allowed her the freedom to grasp the concept of analog control movement, and it did wonders because now she's playing Minecraft. She wants to, play other games that are on my Vita as well, and it really worked. She's a lot more confident now in her gaming skills. Which is awesome. Tight. Yeah, we had a game fest this week. We were playing on the PlayStation Move. We were playing Sports Champions, taking advantage of the mocap move.
Right.
Sticks.
Yeah.
And so she went hard on the archery game because she likes Hunger Games. Oh
yeah.
She's into the Hunger Games. She's young. So she wanted to play the archery game, and she went ham on it. She was just nailing it. She eliminated the first couple minutes. She went ham on it. She was pretty good.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, she did pretty good. I was proud of her. Let's start bringing out some of these topics.
All right, yeah.
So the first topic we're going to discuss today.
First topic
is that Nintendo finally announced their E3 2015 plans. They announced that, much like last year, they're going to leave the traditional press conference formula in favor for a digital streaming event that will be on the show floor before the event begins. And they will show new products and stuff that they have on the floor and what they're going to be introducing for the next year, some announcements, this and that, in lieu of, their big press conference that they've done years past. So this will be the second year that they've done this. Also, following the digital event, which is going to be on June 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so 9 for us, because we're West Coast time.
West Coast.
Yep. There's also going to be an in-depth Nintendo Treehouse live at E3 from the show floor, and they're going to go more in depth with some of the things that they announced during the event, the digital event prior and whatnot. And this is going to be live as the show is going on. Right. They also announced that the World Championships, after a 20-year hiatus, are coming back and will be held June 14th in LA. Also announced was that, much like last year where they allowed fans to play demos of the latest announced games. Like last year they went to a couple Best Buys and had some of their newer games there for a couple of days, so fans who couldn't go to E3 can go to Best Buy and play these new games. And this year is going to be no different. This year they're going to have Mario Party demo kiosks at select Best Buy stores on Wednesday, June 17th. From 4 to 9 p.m. and Saturday, June 20th from 12 to 5. Ernest, what do you think about Nintendo's E3 plans?
I mean, it's kind of seems to me like it maybe saves a little bit of money. It's a little bit less interactive. But it's...
Well, the Treehouse event, I think they'll probably use that to respond to Twitter questions and stuff like that. But I'm sorry. Yeah, go on with your thought. I didn't want to interrupt.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's too big of a deal. But I don't know. Honestly, like, there's not a lot of new announcements. They're not gonna show NX or anything like that. So, it's kind of like all everybody wants to really see, I guess, is like, what's new with Zelda, and other than that,
maybe Metroid.
Honestly, I don't think they're gonna announce a Metroid anytime soon.
I know that
because
they'll definitely have to show Star Fox.
Yeah,
because they said that was coming this year,
exactly,
at the beginning of the year,
exactly.
and we have not heard anything delayed.
Nor have we seen anything from it at all.
Right.
Like anything at all.
Anything.
Nothing.
And if it's going to be coming out this year, I think that's going to be their big game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Zelda's coming out this year.
No, Zelda. I think they said that Zelda's not coming out this year.
Yeah, I think they said that it's not coming out this year.
And then, I mean, Metroid, they had like a couple exclusive Metroid games on the Wii, so, and plus they came out with the Prime trilogy that they re-released and all that. So I think they'll let Metroid rest for a while. They got a lot of stuff on their hands right now anyway.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Woolly World looks. I'm really
stoked about the World Championship.
Yeah, well, I'm more excited about, this maybe possibly fulfilling my hopes for the Wizard too.
Yeah, because that was the tournament that they kind of had like in the Wizard.
Oh yeah.
And it was one of the last that was when they introduced Super
Mario
Brothers 3.
Yeah.
So after 25 years, they're going to have a new World Championship, and they're going to be playing a game. They haven't announced what they're playing yet. Could it be something new? My fingers are crossed that with the announcement of World Championships and knowing that, Super Mario Brothers 3, was debuted, during as such, with the Wizard and whatnot, I'm praying that maybe, a small smidgen of hope that they announce Super Mario Brothers 5. Not new Super Mario Brothers U or anything like that, which plays like traditional, but just have the balls and call it Super Mario Brothers 5. In Japan, World was 4.
Right, yeah.
And it states that on the cover.
That's right, yes.
So,
correct.
Is that shit with Fred Savage you're talking about?
Yeah, that was the Wizard.
Fred Savage.
It is also worth noticing, too, that Square Enix is also going to have a press conference. And
at the same time.
At the same time as Nintendo's.
That just is funny.
They're going to have an actual press conference, though. It's not going to be a digital event.
Of course.
And I also got my hands on the schedule timeline for all of the conferences, so we'll publish that on the screen after the show,
right? Or
I don't know. We'll just make sure we share it before we end the show or whatever. Okay, so topic number 2 today: Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Laylee. For those who don't know, it's trending crazy on Twitter right now.
Nice.
It was a project that was funded on Kickstarter by former Rare developers. From Rare, the team that used to work on Banjo-Kazooie,
and Battletoads, and Odyssey Pro-Am, and
right now they're bought out by Xbox, and I guess they had ideas for a new Banjo-Kazooie that was more true to what the game had originally been.
Not nuts and bolts.
Right, not nuts and bolts, which was customizable garbage.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I played all the way through it. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I did everything I could to like that game, and there are things that are good about it, but as a whole, my personal opinion is not a very good game.
Yeah, and that's the game I had bought originally, Nuts and Bolts, like 2 or 3 times and tried to play it. And
tried to get into it.
Try to play again, but just something around that didn't vibe well.
It's not very fun to play. It just isn't. It's cool. You can customize a lot of stuff. I'm not into customization, but even if I was, just playing the game is not. It's just not very fun.
So these former Rare developers bunched up together and created a new studio called Playtonics.
And these are all the key members of the people that worked on
the Banjo-Kazooie team. Right. And so they started their Yooka-Laylee project on Kickstarter, which in the first day met its goal. And so since then,
within like a couple of hours,
like
it was
4 hours,
nuts.
it already had reached its
original
goal.
Yeah.
So as of Wednesday, when I made these notes, they had raised over 894% of their goal.
Fucking yeah.
And because
Banjo-Kazooie, man. That's what's up.
And because of it, they announced a new goal that will include possible free DLC.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I heard about that, yeah. And then beyond that is like extra spit and polish and stuff like that.
Yeah, retail copies. I've even heard that one of the new goals will allow you to receive a replica of an N64 copy of the game.
Wait, what now?
Yeah, so like I have to do more research, and we'll probably talk about this next cast.
That
but
sounds like
apparently
something I
one
need
of
to
the
be part of.
like I had just glanced at it, and I'm probably wrong. People probably correct me. That's fine. But apparently one of the like not prizes, but one of the rewards.
Right, for if you back it.
Right, is a replica of an N64 copy of Yooka-Laylee.
Huh? Wow.
Which
So like it looks like a little
if it's
cartridge or something.
playable, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I might have to get on that. I might have to, regardless, I must have that.
I think so, bro. I think I might.
I gotta check it out and see.
Some extra scratch on that too. We'll research it more, and we'll have a photo along with it. Make sure we're not,
Yeah.
So Yooka-Laylee is a game.
Yooka-Laylee is a new game that is being funded and is now coming out for PS4 and Xbox One.
Right.
So Ernest, what do you think about Yooka-Laylee meeting over 894%?
I think it's touching because it's Banjo-Kazooie fans putting their money where their mouth is, and it's just it's super touching. It's great knowing that those random little special things about Banjo-Kazooie that I thought were just exclusive to my experiences are just stuff that other people really got as well. And it's like, Rare is a great company, and I love all their games, Killer Instinct, all that stuff, but yeah, Banjo-Kazooie's just got that special place, and it's great that it does for so many other people to the point where they kickstarted that shit like really fast. And
a note that you made too that I want to bring up too, that we had discussed this topic on the original episode 3. You had mentioned that some people were previously upset with Banjo because he walks around like a human in a suit.
Yeah, well, actually, the developer. One thing that was a little concerning to me was how the developer was kind of like saying, well, one of the things with the new game is that like with Banjo-Kazooie, he was a bear, but he didn't really do anything that was bear-like. He was basically just like a guy walking around in a bear suit. And so now with Yooka-Laylee being that he's a chameleon, we want to make him have chameleon, abilities or whatever. So if he like swallows or touches a rock or something, then he gets the attributes of like the rock, like his skin becomes all stony or whatever, and he he's heavier, and it'll give some different abilities or whatnot. And I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, but to me those are like ideas that sound good on paper, but in in reality they're just, I don't know if that'll make for fun gameplay, even if it's original gameplay. That's a neat little concept. I've never really played a game that played quite like that. That doesn't mean it'll translate into being, really quick to pick up and play and be really fun. So that's kind of concerning to me. Hopefully they don't go too crazy with the whole, that's kind of like what happened with Treasure. Treasure used to just do really great just action games. And then they were like, well, if you don't do anything unique or new, then it's just like any other action game. And then they started doing these really weird, wild concepts that sound good on paper, but playing the games just weren't as fun because of it, in my opinion. I wish they'd just kind of go back to just clean Banjo-Kazooie style, 3D platformer. I don't want too much weird shit going on where, oh crap, I gotta be the stone version of the chameleon, so I gotta go here and do this weird shit.
That's kind of reminiscent to Mario though, in that you get certain abilities and it kind of.
But Mario's from Nintendo, and they do it seamlessly, and they don't overdo it. They don't, like, the game is not
constantly having to switch and stuff like that.
It doesn't use that as a crutch. It doesn't lean on the fact that as in Mario you do all those different things. Those are just like, it's like icing, as opposed to being like really drastic gameplay, variations and such.
Thomas, what are your opinions on the recent crowdfunding success of Yooka-Laylee?
Well, my thing is this: when they say Yooka-Laylee, so it's going to be...
Yooka-Laylee is the name of the two characters.
Oh.
Like Banjo-Kazooie was the name of the two characters. Yooka-Laylee is the name of the two characters.
Do we know what the two characters are yet?
Yes, they are a bat and an iguana.
It's an iguana or a chameleon?
A lizard or...
I think it's a chameleon, though.
A chameleon?
Because
I think you're right, too. I think it is.
It could be
it's a lizard chameleon.
Yeah, it's a lizard.
Yeah, it's a lizard.
Brought to you by the people that made Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes.
And lots of other good shit, so yeah.
Well, I think, like you said, it's pretty awesome how fans can say, we really liked what you did before. We're giving you the chance. Because this is it. Make it or break it. If this game sucks, I don't think we're ever here. What is this called? Rare?
Rare.
Yeah.
Well, this is the former team from Rare. They formed a new studio called Playtonics. So
Playtonics.
This is their first official game.
Right.
Well, Platonics, if they don't succeed with Yooka-Laylee, I'm gonna say that they're gonna go out like their former predecessor, Rare, into the annals of history.
Oh god, yeah. So also Koji Igarashi's Bloodstain passed its Kickstarter goal within like half an hour or something ridiculous like that. Like, yeah, and you know it's kind of
for people who don't know what that is. Can you give a quick description?
Yeah, so it's basically a spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night. It's 2.5D, meaning it'll have 2D gameplay like the originals, like Mario or whatever. But all the graphics will be 3D modeled and such.
Okay.
I mean I'm totally behind. I'm definitely gonna check it out because it's got music by the same lady who composed all the music. I forget her name right now. She composed all the music for Symphony of the Night. So that's a really, really big deal. That's one of the big factors. And in fact, with Yooka-Laylee, that's going to be a really big factor as well because the music is one of the things that made Banjo-Kazooie so magically special. And but I'm not excited about the fact that it's all 3D models. One of the things about Symphony of the Night was how gorgeous everything was. Every frame, hand-drawn animation. It just was every second was a moving work of art. And in 3D, it could look nice, but I don't know, just that artistic kind of. I'm afraid it won't be like a beautiful work of art like Symphony of the Night.
So we're gonna take a quick break from our topics, and we actually are gonna do a little bit of this day in gaming because I was looking through my notes real quick as we were discussing the Yooka-Laylee topic, and I just want to share a few keynotes from the next couple days in gaming history. We won't go over like we did in the original 3.0. We'll save that for our regular shows. This is more just kind of a catch-up show. So,
well, while you're looking for that, I will say stay the fuck away from 7th Saga on Super NES.
Oh, yes!
If you haven't fucking played it. I mean,
Ooh,
you say, well, nice. Maybe it's because, it's old and it's nostalgia kind of a thing. You had to be there in the moment. Now, even if this was 1990, whatever, when it came out, and I was playing it for the first time, it's no good. You can just tell right from the start, right when you start moving around, it just doesn't feel good. And it's just kind of like not amateurish. It just doesn't have a polished, professional kind of a feel to it. It feels kind of like one of those. No offense, it feels kind of like one of those early '90s European games. The color scheme was really drab. Mm-hmm. The controls they weren't horrible, but they just weren't spot on, precise. Just kind of, and it wasn't, graphics aren't right. It's just not a very good game. Even, it's not a clean game. It's like, you could say Final Fantasy IV looks dated now, but it's still super clean, and it's just, it's I don't know, it's fun to play. 7th Saga, just wasn't. Maybe other people will like it, but I was curious, I was looking forward to diving into it, checking it out, and I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
Rage.
I found the dates. So let me go over today and tomorrow in video game history real quick before we move on to our next topic. In 1996, today, which is the 18th? 17th?
Yeah.
17th.
No,
Today's 17th.
Today is the 17th,
okay.
I think.
So today in video game history on the 17th, in 1996, Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition was released in the U.S. on Saturn.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember that.
NBA Jam Tournament Edition was released on PlayStation in Japan. Point Blank 2 was released on the original PlayStation in the U.S.
That shit was so much fun.
Yeah.
If you've never played Point Blank, it's worth tracking down if you're curious. It's really good.
Let's see here.
Both of them, 1 and 2. Get that gun con.
Okay, I think that's going to be it for... I think there's going to be...
Hey, what are you going to do? There wasn't a lot of gaming on this particular day. I mean, what are you going to do?
Okay, so then tomorrow... I have this open. May 18th, we saw in 2012 was the XBLA re-release of Dragon's Lair, which is a very good game.
Ah, classic.
Yes. So happy that they brought that to arcade. Many
yeah,
people
that's
didn't.
Nice.
Playdom in 2010 on the 18th, which is tomorrow. Playdom announces they have acquired Acclaim Games So that happened. Alan Wake was released for the Xbox 360 in the U.S. and Canada, and this is till 2010.
Alan Wake.
Let's see.
Alan.
Oh, a lot of games were released.
Actually,
Xbox,
Thomas, I believe, has some experience with Alan Wake.
Red Dead. Do you really?
I love that game.
Awesome. Well, it came out tomorrow.
Oh,
It came
out tomorrow.
It came out tomorrow.
Red Dead Redemption was released in 2010 today.
Oh, that's a good game as well.
Loved
It's coming
it.
up on my backlog.
Yes, and you're gonna let me know when it comes up because we're gonna do some co-op on that.
Oh shit!
Metal Gear Acid 2 came out in France for PSP.
Metal Gear Acid 2 came out in France. Well, while he's doing that, I will let you guys know also to stay far away from. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I did play Secret of Mana finally after all this time, and I don't know, you Secret of Mana fans, I must be missing something. You know, I struggled and powered through like a good half of the game, and I just didn't like it. You know, charge up every attack, you have to charge it up and wait. I mean, I guess it's kind of like Monster Hunter. You charge up your attack, you run in, you hit, and you back up, but you know, sometimes your hits don't register, and you know, even I know those old games don't tell you what to do, but man, this game really, it really doesn't tell you where to go. There's like no map. It's kind of, you know, if you really like it, then fine, but I didn't, so I really didn't like running all over the place and leveling up by attacking a guy and waiting for my stamina to charge back up, and graphics were pretty good, but they're no Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI. Same with the music, so I don't know. I know it's a beloved game. I guess you had to play it multiplayer, but my CPU characters would get stuck in walls, and I didn't really like Secret of Mana. Sorry, guys.
Also, the last note worth mentioning in the games, this day in gaming. So Sony Computer Entertainment America was established.
Oh shit!
So
wait, this day really?
Tomorrow,
May? Oh, tomorrow.
18th. So
May 18th.
On behalf of WTF Gamers Only, happy birthday!
Yeah,
Sony
happy birthday, PlayStation
Computer Entertainment
SCEA.
of America.
Wow!
Thank you for 21 years of gaming.
Indeed, thank you.
That's really cool.
So let's move on to our topics. Let's bang out the final 3 topics we have. Radio Shack lives.
Yes, Jesus, thank God.
So apparently, Radio Shack was facing some major money issues and was filing for bankruptcy, selling their assets. They sold a great chunk of their assets to Sprint, who have already started moving into certain locations and setting up kiosks and shops for the products. It ends up now that the rest of Radio Shack is going to be bought out by a company called Standard General LP. And they bought the remaining shares of Radio Shack for $26.2 million. Their plan is to rebuild and rebrand around a, quote, streamlined array of necessities, end quote, sold alongside products from Sprint. And they plan to keep their remaining stores open. Ernest, what do you think about Radio Shack being bought out and possibly living to see tomorrow?
It sucks that it was bought out, but I mean, it's Radio Shack. Whatever keeps them alive, it's Radio Shack. It has to exist. You know, it's just that I don't know. It's like it seems like it's important. You know,
it's been around for a pretty long time. It's hard.
Yeah, and there's not
it's kind of like Blockbuster, where it's kind of hard to fathom
without it. Well, but see, I hated Blockbuster because they make you hold on to their movie for a week, so you have plenty of time to lose it and forget about it.
Which happened a lot.
Yeah, which happened every week because I used to work there. It was one of my first jobs.
And people come in and are like, I turned it in.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, sorry, dude.
It's not here. Where is it?
Yeah, but no, it's good because there's not a lot of other stores like Radio Shack. It's Radio Shack or what, you know?
Yeah.
So it needs to be around. It's either that or Fry's.
Right, and there's and Fry's isn't like a
Fry's is too big and
right,
stuff.
For people who don't know who Fry's is, on the West Coast, Fry's is a electronics emporium.
Yeah, it's like Best Buy, but just kind of like better and stuff.
And 10 times bigger.
And way bigger, and they got like more
Yeah.
stuff. They got like
It's
computer
huge.
shit and just.
But with not
got
as
all
many
kind of shit.
locations.
Yeah, not
Right.
as many
It's
locations,
more of a- I think
and their
it's more of
prices
a
are really good. Usually.
Yeah, I think it might be more of a Southern California thing.
Yeah, maybe.
but
you can't get ripped off at price.
It's
really
straight
good.
up like monster warehouse full of anything digital, anything electronic.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
if it's electronic, it's there.
exactly.
Thomas, what do you think of Radio Shack surviving to see another day?
Well, it's amazing that Radio Shack has survived this long. To be quite honest with you, they're called Radio Shack. With the exception of your car radio, where do you really think of radio anymore?
Right.
So
Very
they are
true,
rebranding
but-
themselves with Sprint. It looks like Sprint basically bought themselves a couple of stores just outright. And so they're probably just trying to match their competitors like T-Mobile and AT&T with the amount of locations that they'll be able to offer.
Right. It's good.
You know, it's always good to have competition. You know, it keeps everybody in check.
Yeah.
I think that the one thing that they'll have to do is probably offer better products. You know, where are they at the end of the day besides a place where you go and buy the random remote control, universal remote control, or some batteries? You don't buy any high-end products at freaking
Radio
Shack.
You know, yeah, not typically, but it's just I don't know. They got a lot of weird little things that you can't
Little
find other
nooks and
places.
crannies
Exactly.
and stuff like that. Things
That's
that you
why
didn't
that shit is important.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember one time I saw a metal detector and I was like, "Oh snaps, that's pretty cool."
Yeah, you either go to Radio Shack for a metal detector, or you
I
have
don't
to
know.
find
For
a
some
fucking
reason,
metal detector
I've always had this
store.
idea of like,
So good luck finding
getting
that.
what's going on here? Where's my pistol?
Dude, this fool playing like ran out of ammo and shit. Who goes out on a hunt like this trying to fight fools without any fucking ammo?
Thomas does.
Yeah, he's brave.
He's got balls. That's
Bro.
why.
He's like, ammo is just, I guess.
Look
like,
at you having to
backup.
hide behind your guns. I'm a man.
So for our next topic, and this actually was at Thomas's request, because this was a story that we talked about in the original episode 3, and Thomas felt that it was a topic worth sharing and discussing. So we're going to jump right into this. Universal and Nintendo have announced that they are teaming up to feature Nintendo-themed rides and roller coasters at Universal Studio theme parks across the nation. Thomas, what do you think about this news that Nintendo is teaming up with Universal?
Oh, I like that a lot. It really puts Disney on their toes. You know, Universal has had a lot of success with their ability to incorporate all these fantasy worlds into the Universal theme parks, like Harry Potter, The Simpsons. And with Nintendo now being on board, you know, it's Nintendo. If you're going to talk about gaming with history and story and characters that are beloved and part of Americana, let's be quite honest, I'm going to use that word Americana. And that's what Disney is, and that's what Nintendo can be with Universal. Imagine Pokemon Land, you know? Gotta catch 'em all, and you're just like, it's just
I
everywhere.
didn't even think about that. They're gonna have a little section cornered off the Pokemon or Nintendo World.
They should.
And it's
They're
just a
smart,
sewer,
yeah.
and it's a sewer pipe away to Mushroom Kingdom. It's amazing
love
what they
that.
could do. It
Sewer
really
pipe
is.
away.
It's amazing what they could do. And you know, it hasn't been revealed of which characters will be available in this licensing agreement. But you know what? It's gotta be
grabs.
all in or nothing. All in or nothing. Just gotta catch them all or none of it at all.
Ernest, what do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much echo Thomas's sentiments. It's just fucking awesome. I mean, just you imagine going to Universal Studios and there's like a fucking like a Mario Kart ride where you get in little fucking carts and holy shit. I mean, just seeing like Nintendo themed area that you can like walk around and check out. Like a Mushroom Kingdom kind of a little area. Just whatever they do, it's probably going to be nothing short of amazing.
The shops actually look like the shops in the game.
Oh yeah, like shops
Some
too.
genie-looking guy with chests.
Man. And not just like a Mario shop. This is a Nintendo shop, so
there's Nintendo.
It can have a wide
plethora
range of stuff.
Nintendo items.
Yeah,
in
there could be like a little Zelda fucking forest area. I don't know, something cool like that.
I think if they had like, if they decided to build a whole new area of the park, kind of like similar to like Toontown.
Yeah, I mean it'd be cool if they would do all that. Who knows to what extent? But
Right.
if they were to just go
Well, if
wild.
they're gonna do more than one ride,
Yeah.
I would imagine they're gonna be fairly close
Yeah.
together in one little area.
Yeah.
And it would make sense to open up a new section of the park.
It would, yeah. If they're gonna do more than one ride, then they should have a little. They should have an area, Nintendo like kind of area.
Because there's only really like if you've ever been to Universal Studios, at least in Hollywood, you know that there's only generally 2 areas that you can go to: the upper area and the lower area. And the lower area has Jurassic Park and Transformers. I assume that's where the not Need for Speed, Fast and Furious ride is going to be also.
Oh yeah.
And Mummy's there, and it really is almost like a 2-part location. The Universal Studios Hollywood location is. So hopefully they'll use this, these new rides.
It sounds like fun. We should hit up some fucking Universal Studios sometime.
We should.
It's expensive though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But we're California, so it's a little bit cheaper. We'll look into it.
Yeah,
we'll look into it.
Good marketing there, Nintendo and Universal. Let's see. I think we. While I'm talking about Super Nintendo action RPGs, I basically come to the conclusion I really don't like them.
I like how you just said I come to the conclusion I really don't like them.
It's I think it's just Zelda that I really liked because that Zelda fucking is perfect. And so the other one I played was Illusion of Gaia. Again, these are games that I knew were classics from back in the day. You can't buy every single fucking game that is awesome. So I finally got around to them. And I played Illusion of Gaia, and it's good. But again, the thing is, even though that one is good, I really don't care for action RPGs. So I don't like it. Like it takes like all the best and worst, or it takes like to me a lot of the worst things about traditional Japanese RPGs. The stuff that I don't like. Like what I like about them is the story, the music and the characters and all that stuff and the graphics and these action RPGs that kind of like takes the stuff I don't like, the combat, and you run around like there's towns and everything, but since it's not a traditional RPG, you don't really like talk to everybody and there's not much story going on, so it's just what didn't hold my interest that much. And then I got to some boss and it was like really, it's kind of challenging. He really handed me my ass. So. It's a good game, the graphics are pretty nice, but I just don't like action RPGs, and, I don't know, it's kind of hard. I just didn't have that, it wasn't special where it, like, grabbed me. Like the first time you play, again, like Chrono Trigger, you don't have to like RPGs, it's just so good, it just, whatever, it grabs you, and, these action RPGs I played, Zelda 3 grabbed me, but these ones just didn't. I don't know, I guess they're just those, kind of like Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is super popular, a lot of people love it.
Kingdom Hearts.
The Disney one?
Fucking love Kingdom
the Disney
Hearts.
Final Fantasy crossover.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wanted to like it, and I played a bit of it, and it's just one of those things I didn't. I think it's kind of like an action RPG that I didn't really get into. I didn't like it. And then to make sure I wasn't crazy, I played. I started messing with Symphony of the Night. And I'm like, no, you don't need to convince anybody anything. You play that for 5 minutes, and it's just like the best game. So yeah, very disappointed in you people who labeled these games legendary classics. Sorry, I don't get it, but I don't know. When you're not gonna win them all, so.
Awesome.
But yeah, so just so you know, if you've never played like Secret of Mana or whatever, and you've just like me, you've heard that they're classics and you should play them and own them. You may not like them. I was determined to make myself like them because I have to, but no, I really didn't. And I got through a good portion of it, and I don't know. You're welcome to let me know what I missed, but
yeah, and definitely give your idea, your opinions of any of those games that Ernest didn't like in the comment section down below as well. If you like them,
dude, you're out
agree
of
with
your
Ernest.
mind, you
if you
moron.
didn't,
How could you not
shit
like
all
Secret
over his
Mana?
comments.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
dude,
no,
hey, dude,
but really, this
maybe
show thrives on your feedback. So definitely let us know what you thought of Ernest's opinions and what you thought about those games as well. We're dying to know.
Yeah, I know everybody likes them, and a lot of people say you got to play Secret of Mana multiplayer, but I'm not really a big multiplayer game, and a game shouldn't be judged being good or not because you have to play with somebody else. Mm-hmm. Video game's a video game.
Oh, you're such a hermit.
I am a complete hermit. The fucking gamers are hermits, dude. I don't fucking do multiplayer Call of Duty shit. Yeah.
That's true. I don't want anybody interrupting my rage moment right here.
Right? You don't want anybody else running in, grabbing
all of a
your
sudden, this guy comes in,
money.
grabs my arrow. I'm like, no! I've been waiting for this!
Or he's like, go there, and you're like, well, I just want to, stare out the window and just kind of, Like, what are you doing? Why are you staring at the wall? I'm like, I'm just kind of doing my own thing, just, I don't know, being weird.
Sweet. Well, we're going to wrap this podcast up. We've been going on for about an hour or a little bit more.
Yeah,
already.
maybe I'd say about
kind of banged it out pretty fast.
Yeah, we
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I want to play more Rage.
Yeah,
Well,
that was what happened with me with Symphony of the Night. I left this place. I'm like, oh my god, I want to play more Symphony of the Night. And then like 8 hours later, it was like 3 in the morning, and
you're like, holy shit, where'd the
I
time go?
gotta get some sleep. Holy fuck, this game is the best.
We are going to wrap it up here. We're going to thank everybody who listened to our podcast.
Yeah, again,
we
if you made
apologize
it
for
to
the
the
delay. With our best intentions, we recorded episode 3, and I ran into technical difficulties. We had to record it again. I felt that this podcast went pretty smoothly, just like the last one, too. I think we got a good team here. Good. Ernest, thank you for joining me once again. Always here to help me out with this podcast.
Well, yeah, good looking out, setting everything up and just...
I honestly couldn't get this going without you. So once again, thank you very much. Where can people find you online, Ernest?
You can always find me in any rendition of Emperor and Ernest, or Emperor_Ernest. You can find me on, Twitter, Xbox, PSN, Backloggery,
Okay. Thomas, where can people find you online?
You can send me an email at thomasdcclee@gmail.com. And, waiting to hear from you.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MosesIVVIOC. You can also find me on PlayStation Network at MosesIVVIOC. Or you can find me on Xbox Live at MosesXIVVIXOC. I also want to take a moment to thank Chris. Chris was an editor on our site who had contributed for the last year. We went to a lot of conventions with her, Firo and I, and she recently stepped down from her position as editor. So we want to thank her for her time and wish her the best of luck in her future endeavors as well. Hopefully she won't be a stranger, and we'll see her pop up again here and there on WTFGO. There's also we're also going to be returning to our regular schedule in terms of releasing these podcasts. We ran into an error, so that's why this one had to be re-recorded again. I had published the second episode of WTFGO Let's Play Stuff in lieu of missing the release date for episode 3. So I'll edit this tonight and have it out by tomorrow, Tuesday the latest. And from there on out, it will be our regular schedule. So 1 week it will be Let's Play Stuff. The next week it will be the WTFGO show. So with that said... if you have we also are taking viewer questions to be answered on air. So if you have any comments or something that you want us to read on air, just write them on Twitter with the hashtag AskWTFGO, and we'll try to read your questions on air as well and answer them to the best of our knowledge. So once again, thank you for listening to the show. That's the WTFGO show. Episode 3.5 is now officially done. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, and thank you for listening. Have a great day. Game on.